Good evening, everybody. It's time again for your Rowdies Talk Radio, the Green and Gold Gospel.
Hey there, little Red Riding Hood, I got a problem and it's complicated. Going through changes and I just can't ignore the signs. Hear them now and it's so loud it hurts. Hear me growl and hear me howl when the full moon is out. Hear me growl, you see me run, you see me jump. Try to fight, but I emerge with the prize in hand. You better watch out, it's gonna take more than what you got. All eyes are on me and the silence is deafening. There's no help against this full moon. Don't ever say I didn't warn you, because I came to play, came to play, I came to play, came to play, I came to play, came to play, I came to play. Wow!
Hello, Rowdies family, and welcome to another episode of the Unused Substitutes, where we bring you the green and gold gospel. I am your host today, Ben Wilcox. Dan is not with us. It's because, well, I don't know. Insert your reason. It's Dan. He's old and he's frail and he hurt himself and he's on the couch and he's unable to perform. Story of my life. Anyway, so here we go. So we're going to dig into a lot of soccer here, man. A lot has happened. I know it's currently right now Thursday, 8:30 at night. Lots going on. Lots happening around the world. We've got two games to talk about. We have a exciting kind of thriller over the weekend, did we not? I mean, it's fresh only come out with a point, but that was probably one of the more exciting games I think I've seen at Al Lang. Of course, a lot of you might not know that because you didn't show up, which I hate to bring it to you guys. After these last two games, you really need to get out there because I really think like this team is starting to find something and they are starting to kind of click. Now they've got a few pieces. Guys are starting to get a little more trust with each other's movements. I think you're seeing more creativity. I think you're seeing more out of even some existing players as this thing is going on. Yes, we still have some defensive lapses that we have just been plagued with all season long. Yes, John, I hear you in my ear telling me, yes, I'm glad we're scoring goals, but defensively we're porous. I agree, Mr. Silva. I agree. However, if we're going to go this way and we're going to go full West Coast and we just outscore the other team, I'm not going to lie to you guys and tell you that I'm not excited for it because, quite frankly, I am. And I don't know if you guys looked at the tables or not. I'm sure you have. I know I definitely have. We are slowly crawling up this table here and in striking distance of a playoff spot. I mean, we are only 2 points out, and we've got a chance against Rhode Island to get up there and take that A spot. Indy is not playing great football right now, nor is Rhode Island, although I do believe the Rhode Island game is away, so that is going to be tough. I agree. But if this team is really starting to hit in on something and really starting to get hot, it could continue to score 3+ goals a game, which I know is not necessarily sustainable. But then again, our offense looks potent. And I mean, those 7 goals in 2 games, those weren't a fluke. That was an offense that figures something out or either had a rough go in the first half and made the adjustments they need to, and the players adjusted or listened to the message and were able to apply what they heard and what they're seeing and put it into effect. Let me tell you what, you get into a playoffs with a team that can put balls in the back of the net, you better watch out because there's no pressure on that team. There's no pressure on the team that comes in the 8th and 7th seed, okay? The pressure's all on the 1, 2, and 3, and 4 seed because they're the ones that get the home games. They've got the pressure of saying, oh, we've earned this. We're here. Okay. Well, now you got to prove it, okay? Now you got to prove it in the playoffs too. Because right now, a team coming in hot, like we are, ironically, similar to the way Colorado Springs did when they made their run through, we come in hot with the ability to score a lot of goals. This is going to get interesting real quick. And I don't care who you throw in front of us. If this is the kind of excitement we're going to start seeing, I'm here for it, man. This is going to make the end of this season really exciting. And even if we didn't make the playoffs, which I'm not willing to say that we're not going to make the playoffs at this point, because I don't think that we're out. I know statistically we're not out, but even more so, if recent play is a dictator or to show us anything, this is going to be fun, guys. This is going to be a lot of fun, and I'm very excited to see what's coming. So where do we start here? All right, so we had a game this past Saturday against Colorado Springs. Senior 1, Tejada comes back to town. The fox in the box, as we all remember. And of course, look, we always love Juan. Juan is always going to be a fan favorite. I always appreciated the way Juan played. I think we all did, right? And at the time that he went away, I know he moved around, I think, to a couple different clubs before really settling into Colorado Springs. It was, we still very much had a lot of love for that guy and the way that he played. And I think he showed in this game as well. He's very resourceful. He's very smart when he gets close to the box. He proves that you don't have to be, 6'5" and athletically gifted to be an absolutely lethal striker in this league. You just got to be smart. You have to put yourself in smart places and be willing to take your chances. And I don't think anyone would sit here and say that either one of Juan Tejada's goals were amazing goals. One was a diving header, good on him. It was a good header. That's what started off the game. I'm sorry. No, Marie's was the first goal to start off the game. Sorry. Just kidding. No, Tejada's goal was in the 17th minute. It was their first goal. But a diving header, which, I'm not saying it's not tough. I'm not saying it's not a good goal. It definitely was, but it wasn't like some wonder strike from 25 yards out, right? It's just it's a player putting in the dirty work, getting in, smart places, and doing what has to be done to get the ball in the back of the net. And of course, it comes, about 10 minutes after we just scored our goal, which, by the way, that ball went from Bodley into Marie. That was a thing of beauty. So, this first half of this Colorado Springs game was just, it was wild, right? Pretty much the first 35 minutes of this game was just, it was very wide open. It was very tit for tat. It very much felt like we were going to go back and forth here. It felt like anyone could have taken off with this game. And I think, like I opened up with, defensively, we've got to figure some stuff out. Look, I like Guillen, I like Van Kizio, I like Castellanos, I like the three back that we have. I don't know if it's just them not trusting or having the trust in the people in front of them, or the holding midfielders in front of them not closing down space fast enough, or just the midfield not shutting down passing lanes or whatever fast enough. Whatever it is, our coverage, whether it be in the box or off of free kicks or with the through balls or the balls, we're just having a hard time picking up the extra man, or we're just not tight enough in coverage, or we're playing too into our zones as opposed to tighter onto the man, which has plagued us all season long. It's been one of the biggest reasons we are where we are in the standings right now, right? It's crazy because we're not used to having this porous of defense. And again, I don't think it's a lack of talent. I don't. It could be structure. It could be any number of things, right? It's hard. I don't know that there's any one particular spot that is the biggest issue, but it was just man, this is a new thing for us, and we're not used to being this porous. So either way. So okay, so Tejada gets that goal in the 17th minute. Then you turn right around, and what happens? Pass it, Lubens gets himself up for the ball, and what does he do? Buries it down to the keeper's feet and off the cross from Wyke, which was another beautiful cross into the box. And again, we're right back up. So in 25 minutes, you go from a beautiful Marie goal where he just slices the defense, He said a quote post-game. I wonder if I pulled it up. No, I don't think I have it. But one of the things he was saying in the post-game was just because of the runs that Manu and Passius made, it froze the defenders in place and they didn't know what to do. So Marie drove into the space and kind of opened his hips in his way to kind of fake like he was going to play off to another man. And so the other defender kind of almost felt like, okay, he's going to you, you've got him. And the other defender's like, I've got my guy right here. I can't commit in. And Marie just goes, okay, fine. If you're not going to shut down the space, I'm going to take the space and I'm going to bury it to the far post into the side netting, which is exactly what he did. So boom, 8th minute, Tejada, diving header, 17th minute. Passius beautifully gets up and buries that ball down at the keeper's feet, 22nd minute. Then not even 2.5 minutes later, I mean, another beautiful cross in off of the set piece from Marie. Castellanos goes up and just gets big and just redirects the ball just enough for it to go into the far post. And all of a sudden, holy crap, like that's 4 goals in 25 minutes, which I don't think we've seen that kind of game here in a while, at least not from us offensively, and you're just thinking to yourself, this game as well, we're feeling pretty big. We've got 3 goals to 1, yada, yada. Let's be smart here. Let's just keep attacking. Let's keep going. And Juan Tejada's like, yeah, about that. I'm on top of the box with the ball at my feet. I'm going to go ahead and send this one in with a nice little swerving shot to my left here into the back of the net to really make it interesting 3-2 at the 33rd minute. You're thinking to yourself, what is going on here? Like, and by the way, like I rewatched this shot a few times from Tejada. I can't tell if it took a deflection maybe, or if I can't understand how the ball went in where it did and why Bill Hamid went the direction he went. Am I alone here? Like, so you saw, like, because I don't remember who it was, but they closed out. It might have been Crisostomo. I don't remember, but he shut down the space and got his foot what looked to be in the direction where the shot was originally going, which he was standing on to the left of center at the top of the circle 18. What looked like he was going to try and curl it over to the far post, so to his right, like upper 90. It's like that's what it looked like, a touch shot. That's what it looked like it was supposed to be. And somehow it just very gingerly, very softly, just kind of curls a little bit, but almost dead straight and not in a very tough spot to get to. But Bill Hamid it looked, because he had committed so hard his left, he had no chance to get back to his right to make that save. And it was a strange goal, man. It doesn't matter how many times I watched it. I mean, I saw it going live, and I still don't quite understand how the hell that happened. But either way, again, 33rd minute, you're talking, five goals. We're talking 3-2. It was exciting to watch. Like, I mean, I realize that we're like, I get that we just let in 2 goals almost immediately after we're scoring here. It's frustrating, but at the same time, you're like, holy crap. Like, I mean, this is not necessarily sustainable, but this is exciting. And it's like, it finally feels exciting to watch us play. Still frustrating as it has been, but it's exciting. You're like, that was a wow. Like that was a lot to take in, And so you go to halftime, and I don't know. Like, if you're the coach, if you're Cassiano, do you tell your guys to keep going forward? Do you tell them don't change anything? Nothing changes? Do you tell them to be smarter with the ball defensively? Do you trust your defense to play smarter defensively? Like I don't know what you say in this moment, because it's tough to say stop what you're doing, right? Like, you wouldn't say that. That sounds crazy, right? Like, I mean, obviously it's working. I mean, we're getting scored on, but it's working. But are we really going to score 6, 7, 8 goals? I mean, probably not. Could we have? I don't know, maybe, because you look at the next game, our scoring continues. So it's like, I imagine it was probably more just about doing the same, but being smarter and cleaning things up, because in that second half, the team came out, and I definitely think we looked more defensive. I think that's also more on Colorado Springs really showing more respect to our attack in the second half and being smarter with their counterattack and really kind of setting more speed up. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, the possession by the end of the game was 58% them, 42% us. And it felt like that. It definitely felt like they were going all, like we were defending by middle to end of the half, like we were defending for our lives. Plus, like, no, look, we also made a number of changes. I know. I mean, if you look at the substitutions, you've got Crisostomo comes off, Skinner comes on in the 59th, Arteaga comes off, Mendez goes on in the 59th, and then it wasn't until much later in the game that you see Marie and Alvarez and then Passius and Sharp make their changes in the 81st. That's right. We did only make 4 subs this game. So, I mean, look, and we didn't make our change until after that 3rd goal. Something that Cassiano has talked about a few times since being here is our inability to play a complete 90. He spoke about it post-game after yesterday's game, the Wednesday game, and I'll I'll read his quote afterwards. But like we've really had a hard time this season putting together a complete game. Now I know in the beginning, like there was no such thing. It was just getting through games. We were laboring through. Then Robbie leaves, and we are trying to find some stability and some consistency with play. But again, we I don't think we really put a full 90 in any game. I mean, we got lucky in a few, which is why we got a couple W's in there. But let's be frank. I mean, we still hadn't really played a full 90. And then with Cassiano, I think we've seen obviously the work done by Steve Coleman before him in stabilizing the team and giving them belief again. And I think we're starting to see some belief in the systems of play and some of the principles of play. And he's starting to get in some of his players. Obviously, I think Maria has been an absolute monster of a pickup, and he's a selfless player. I encourage anyone and everyone, if you have a chance to take 2 seconds to talk to this young man, he is an incredible guy, very team focused. You definitely understand the kind of player that Cassiano likes and a certain style of player that he likes. And I think Maria was obviously huge. Now, I get that he's on loan only through this season, but then again, you never know, man. I mean, maybe he decides he likes it here. Maybe he decides that he wants to stay working with us, and maybe this is a decision he wants to extend depending on the terms of his loan or his contract with his parent club. I mean, who knows, man? I would love to see this guy stay around because he's been an absolute lightning bolt to the attack. I know that he's technically marked as a defender, but let's be honest, that's in kind of like a wingback role. I mean, that's not a position that I see him playing, at least not under Cassiano. I think it's supposed to, he can play the defensive role or he can play the wingback role, but clearly his strength in this division is going to be in the attack. And I like when he utilizes the wing play and gets into the middle of the field and creates havoc. But it's also going to take strikers that are willing to move well off of him. It's going to take your holding midfielder plays to make sure they are holding and filling in those gaps where he obviously makes his run. I mean, there's a lot of other tangibles there. But either way, to the Colorado Springs game, Bicoletto gets that third goal in the 58th minute, which is frustrating, right? Because it felt like it was coming. Obviously, Colorado Springs is a talented team. They're a good bunch. They're disciplined. They were pushing pretty hard, and it felt like unless we were going to go more offensive or really try to make a push at putting more in, like we're just not a team that can park the bus, right? Like that's not our strength. We're not a team that can just play defense for 45 minutes or even 30 minutes and think we're going to keep the ball at the back of the net. I mean, unless you're a 4-1, I don't think that's a wise move anyways. I always hate that tactic. I'm like, you got up by 3 goals for a reason, just stick with it. Right? I mean, like, why change what you're doing? I don't care if you got to run the game up 8-1, 9-1. I don't really give a shit. I mean, I really simply, that's unsportsmanlike. Look, your job is to stop me from scoring, and if you can't, that's on you. My job is to continue to win, continue to score, and put results up for my club, And I'm not a fan of park the bus. I say you continue to go forward. I think you do what got you there. Unless you have like a Virgil van Dijk in your back line, like a lockdown, just absolute brick wall in front of your goalkeeper. I don't understand that. And anyways, that's tangent over. But that's why you see Skinner and you see Mendez come on, which I by the way, now this is Alex's debut game. He also comes out again against Birmingham, which that's 2 games in a row. And I mean, look, I like the guy. I mean, this is a young town player. I don't know what the terms of this guy's contract are. I wish the USL would give us a little more info. I understand there's reasons to keep certain things close to the vest. The money's a little bit different in USL. Obviously, everything's sanctioned through the league. I get all that, so it's not that's not on the up and up. But I wish there was a little more info there. But maybe that's just for the nerds. I don't know. Maybe that's just us guys. I don't know. Maybe most of you guys don't give a shit. I'm just always fascinated, right? But whatever the reason, he's here. He comes to 59th minute, and I think he makes a very positive impact with very limited play. Again, I think a guy that has proven his worth. I mean, he's played he's played with Ajax. He's played in the top leagues of Portugal. He's played in the top leagues of Mexico, and I think one of the league. I mean, like, look, clearly the guy can play, right? Like the guy's got talent. So for us getting him here is huge, and I'm very excited that we pulled this young man in. I say young man, he's still young, but either way, he comes in for Artiaga, and I thought he made a very positive impact right away. Because really, I mean, like we did have some chances going into the final. Oh, and I say final, it was like what, a minute 5. God, what was it? Hold on, it felt like forever in this game, whatever the total minutes were, but it was long. But damn, man, I mean, like, we end up getting out of this game 3-3. I know it was a grind. I know that Colorado felt like they really owned the second half, and let's be honest, they pretty much did. And yeah, I know we held them off, but we also held them off by playing a little bit better offensively. I thought everyone had a positive impact in this game. Everyone who played really showed something. And really, for anybody who's not been to a game in a while, because you're kind of turned off the way things are, I gotta tell you guys, I mean, if this is what we're gonna start to see, like, you need to get back out here. Like, I realize most all the guys that I talked to on the show, or that Dan and I talked to through our posts and stuff, are mostly the people that are showing up. But I have a bit of a gripe that I want to throw out there, and that's to Rouse Mob and Skyway Casuals. I love you guys a lot. I love you both. You guys have always been super welcoming to me personally. I'm always happy to see you guys, but you guys are the lifeblood of the pulse in the stands, man. And I was so disappointed in this showing. And look, credit where credit's due. You guys have been amazing for a lot of years, but I know this is a tough season, guys, and I'm looking right at you guys right now. I know this is a tough season. I get that, and I get that you are putting in a lot and you've gotten very little in return. I understand that. That's part of being a fan. But man, when I look down at that section and I see like 30 people, you guys know that's not good enough. It's not good enough, and I get it. The team has not been great either. That is tough, but I say you guys more than me are the lifeblood of these stands. You guys are the tone setter in the stands. And now more than ever, I'd argue, is when we need you guys the most. And I get that it's tough. I do. I totally get that. All right. And y'all get mad at me, call me out in the stands. It's fine. That's fine. I'll listen to it. I mean, I'm welcome to have a discussion about it. But I mean, I hold you guys to a different standard, which is why I was disappointed when I looked down at that section and it wasn't even half full. I look around the stadium and I see the average fair weather fan not showing up. I get that. They're fair weather fans. That happens. And then, of course, look, it's also, it's hard for families right now. I get that money's tight for some people. Maybe coming out to a Reddy's game just isn't a priority for them. I also get that. But the mob and the casuals are so vital to the pulse, and you guys can influence other people. So when you don't show up and other fans see that, it sends a message to them as well. And that's the part I want to reiterate to y'all is I need y'all to do more now more than ever. Because with this recent play, and I get it, it's very recent. It's been 2 games in less than 5 days. I get it. And it's tough. I get it. But there's a potential here that we can make a serious push to get to the playoffs and then some. Let me tell you what, I had a discussion today with Ryan Helfrich, and within those walls of that club right now, there's a lot of belief on that team. The players, the coaching staff, all those guys, there's a lot of belief in that locker room right now, and that should excite you. The fact that we can be 2 points out of a playoff berth with about 5 or 6 games left to go, and there's a belief. And there's a sign, there is 2 games here in which we have seen something come to life, and they believe they can make some problems and make a case for themselves. And I love that. I love that energy. Like, what do we have to lose? Dan and I have talked about this for weeks. I know a couple weeks ago, he and I were like, what do we have to lose, man? Go balls out. Go for it. Who gives a shit? Who cares, right? I mean, but really, who fucking cares? Why not go for it? And if we're going to go for it, let's do it the way that coach wants us to do it. Let's be smart with our movements. I mean, there's every reason to believe that we could really make a lot of teams nervous. I mean, if you come into the playoffs and you're scoring 3-4 goals a games, like, that makes a lot of teams worry, because now they're less focused on their style of play and what the hell you're doing, which is a beautiful place to put them mentally. And we just get to play free. We get to play our style of soccer. Yeah, we'll probably let in a couple goals. That's new. That's not new to us. But we're not afraid of having a couple goals. Okay, you just scored after we scored. That's fine. We're going to keep coming for you anyways. We don't care. I love that. I mean, is that how I want us to play long term? Of course not. But if that's who we're going to be for the remainder of the season and we're going to continue to push through, I'm good with that. I don't have an issue with it. Use what you got, man. Make the best of your situation. So, real quick, I want to talk about a couple quotes here from the coach post just after the or post game here of the Colorado Springs game. I'll elaborate a bit on, but I want to read directly from his quote because whatever. That's what I'm going to do. So deal with it. Head coach Dominic Casiano on the disparity between the performances in the two halves. It says it was a tale of two halves. In the first half, I thought we were pretty good. We gave up 2 goals that we really think we should do better with. I agree. I said the same thing. I think we should have more pressure on the ball and should be marking better on the first goal. Colorado Springs' third goal was down to marking in the box. They're a reminder to us that we have to do those things all the time. But first half, I thought we started much better than we had previously. Getting the lead and to keep pushing was really good. It gives us something to to carry into next week for Wednesday and Saturday. Well, we saw what happened on Saturday. Or on Wednesday, sorry. They definitely carried it forward and they definitely utilized it. I mean, I get that it took a bit, we had to get through the first half. But that's, credit to Birmingham for being aggressive and for holding it tight. I still say they had or have one of the better goalkeepers in the league, but we'll get into that. Defender Paul Marie, which I know it says as a defender. I know he's written as a defender. I talked about this. He don't think he's a defender. Anyways, Paul Marie on the positive start. He says, I think we started well on the front foot, way better than the last 2 games. So I think we can take a lot of positives out of it. We just need to tidy up some small details, and we'll do a lot better, I believe. Well, you look at Wednesday as we roll into Birmingham Legion's stadium, and which, by the way, I'm sure somebody knows. It's not me. I don't pay attention to this kind of shit. I'm sure it's probably common knowledge. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Who the hell schedules a game at 1:00 in Birmingham? Did everyone not look like they were on fire out there? Like, did it not? I mean, it looked miserable. I remember when I was younger, we've all been there. Anyone who's played any kind of youth sports of any kind out in the middle of summer heat, especially in like Florida or like somewhere in the Southeast, right? Those summer months where it is just hot. There's nothing. It doesn't matter. You could jump in an ice bath, you'd still feel hot. Like those kind of days, it looked like that kind of game. Now imagine these guys going through that in that first half. It looked absolutely miserable, did it not? Like, God, just insufferable. Anyways, I don't know who scheduled that, but you know what? Whatever, more the merrier. Like it worked out in our favor. So, I mean, I guess you can't complain too much. Anyways, so again, this is one of those games where we didn't start fast again, which is something we've got to figure out how to get on teams faster. Again, looking to the week before, we did that. We came out strong. We also were porous. There's inconsistencies there. I get that. But it's like Birmingham gets up on us in the 12th minute with that. Like, we just had an opportunity on Van Okel where he doesn't catch the ball, but he hits the ball away. Quickly counterattack. They're back up the field. Daly plays it on to McCartney, which is this only his 2nd goal of the year, which I say that like that's from the broadcast. Broadcast said it. I'm quoting it like I know that. I don't know that. I don't care. Fuck Birmingham. I mean, really. Fuck Birmingham. I don't give a shit about them. Anyways, McCartney gets the ball over top, and he buries into the near post, which Bill, I really need you to get those, sir. Especially with the guy of your pedigree. That's a goal I expect you to stop. I just do. Whatever. So they score in the 12th minute, but that's it. And let's be honest, there wasn't a whole lot to talk about this first half. And it wasn't so much that we didn't play well. Birmingham probably had more of the opportunities, but that's, I mean, consistent with us defensively, just we're having issues. And something that Marie talked about again in the postgame was just it's just players having trust with one another, trusting each other's movements. I think Paul's only been here 2.5 weeks now. That's training and games. It's not a lot of time to learn a new system, to have all these different players trusting who's going to jump and who's going to pull back and who's going to fill that gap and who's going to stay back for the space. One player might defend a certain way, another player might defend a different way. I mean, like, there's a lot of stuff, familiarity between different styles of players and how they play the system that we just don't have consistently. And I think that's definitely led to some of the issues we've had defensively as far as like coverage, players just being wide open, or us leaving attacking players, the opposing attacking players, just wide open in very dangerous places. There's a lack of communication, for sure. Something I think that we will do much better at in the offseason, and addressing with players and people having a proper offseason to really kind of sharpen up a lot of those things. But for right now, those things happen when you have a lot of new players coming into a system. I mean, right now, I mean, look, 5 weeks ago, Azokar, Marie, Mendez, all, these guys, Sharp. I mean, none of these guys were really here or knew our system or knew our play or knew our players really, right? And now, I mean, you'd say after this week, I feel like they're all, except for maybe Sharp. I'm still not fully sold on him, but he's young, so like I don't want to beat up on the young man because I think he is developing. He is still getting there. He's just young. Plus, trying to be young and unfamiliar with a new team and trying to find your plays, like this may just not be an attacking system that's just conducive for his style of play. Could be that. I don't know. But anyways, I don't want to beat up on the young man. I don't feel like that's productive in any way, shape, or form. But really, the other players, though, I think they're starting to prove themselves to all be starters and really commanding them to be on the field. And don't look now, but these are all players that a certain individual who some of y'all were definitely jumping on a few weeks ago in the comments section, along with the head coach, brought in, and these are all the difference makers. And it's funny, like I was critical of a certain someone in the front office, but I also give them credit where credit is due. And I did in my comment on social media as well as here on the podcast, because I think he also deserves credit for what's happening right now. And if this continues, he absolutely deserves all the credit that's coming his way should things continue to keep going in the right direction. I actually saw them today. I said hey to them. I said hey to Ryan. Again, I think the moves that we have made in the last 5 to 6 weeks with the players that we've brought in, I think are really a telltale sign of the potential of what's to come. I think we have clearly shown that we can identify talent that can make not just an immediate impact, but can have a long-term impact with not just this coach, but these players at this level. And, Alvarez is another one, by the way, who I love, Luis Alvarez. I'm definitely a fan of that young man, especially that goal he had in this game. Beautiful. Anyways, I just want to make sure that a certain someone definitely gets credit for bringing these guys in, because some of y'all were just awful. There was even another comment about getting rid of Casiano, like maybe he isn't ready for this level. Shut up. If you're in the stands and you hear someone make that comment, please direct them my way so I can tell them to shut up. Just please stop. Thank you for being a fan. Thank you for coming to the game. Shut up. There's a reason you're a fan in the stand and not coaching soccer or identifying talent or out there managing clubs or being a president who makes financial decisions about a club. These are all things that clearly we know you're not qualified. You may be the guy that is the number one heart surgeon. I'm not saying that guy is. I don't know. I'm just saying. You may be the smartest in your field, and that is great. Soccer is not it. Shut up. Trust the process. Look, I'm guilty of falling off it sometimes. I get it. And I get that I have an unfair advantage in being able to go behind the scenes and talk to these guys and having a little more knowledge than most when it comes to certain things. I get that. But I try to relay it in the most honest and genuine way that I can. Again, I am critical of this team, but I'm critical because my expectations are very high. Because I know the talent we have, but I also recognize everything that's gone on this season and what this team has had to go through to get to this point. And yes, I haven't done it personally, but I've talked to these players. I know what seasons like this mean. It's not lost on me that a lot of you came into the Rowdies during the Neil Collins era, which is great. I'm glad that all of you came into the window. I'm glad that you guys have joined us and you have seen this incredible thing that we have growing here in St. Pete at the beautiful cathedral that is Al Lang, right? But you also have to understand, before we had Stu Campbell, which again, I'm not hating on Stu Campbell. Stu Campbell is a genre, though, that we all live through. And for those that were here and those that are listening that know the Stu Campbell era, you know exactly what I'm talking about. For those of us that are here under the Bill Edwards era, look, it was wild. There was a lot of great things, amazing things, and horrible things, all that culminated through all of that. But some of y'all are spoiled with the fact that we, up until the last year and a half, have been an absolute Eastern monster. And the life of a soccer fan is tough. Because one day you're at the very top, and the next day you are right down at the bottom. Unfortunately, that pendulum has swung down, but I feel like it is in the process of swinging back up again. But what I need to do is get underneath that thing and just stick underneath and just hold there for a while, if you don't mind, please. I get this how pendulums work, but I don't care. I'm making my own pendulum, and my pendulum can work however the hell I want because it's mine. Damn it, screw you. But yeah, some of y'all are just wild. I didn't check the comments after this one. I didn't think I needed to. I feel like the game spoke for itself. Again, the first half, they've got Van Oekel, which I was going to say this, kind of recapping the first game. Van Oekel is a bit of a legend in the USL ranks. I think for those of us that have been around long enough, I think that a lot of y'all would have to agree, right? Like Van Oekel is a staple. He's damn good. We've had a lot of great matchups and games against Van Oekel over the years. This is the first time that we played Van Oekel, and I got to be honest, he looked amateur. Dare I say old? Like, we came after him. Now, obviously, the first half, one of our issues were we were missing either that final place, that final player, that final piece, or that final ball that would just get us in just behind the back line, or that final cross that would just get us into the box. Like, we were missing something, but you could see what we were trying to do. Now, some of that is a credit to Birmingham shutting down those spaces, right? But I think that we were just not quite on the right page with one another. And I think the biggest difference from this game, from the last game that I saw, was there was an all-in buy-in, like an all-in buy-in in the second half. And players that we don't normally see putting in certain effort in certain areas of the field were putting in effort. We were seeing guys like Passius, who, let's be honest, as a counter-presser, not very good. Dare I say lazy. One of my biggest gripes with the guy. But it gave me the vibe of a guy who's like, I'm the only one scoring. What do you want me to do? That's the kind of vibe it gave me. Now, I'm not saying that is what is going on. I'm not saying that's what anyone has said. I'm not saying that is even what happened. That's just the feeling I got from his play. I didn't like it. That's a lot of been my complaint this year about him, is that I felt like he was too one-sided. If he would just learn to play that other side of the ball and commit to this team, God, he would be special. We know he can go up and get the ball. We know he can strike a damn ball. We know he's fast enough to get in behind defenders. But if you're not committing and helping us on the counter press and on the defensive side of the ball, especially when that is something that clearly we are trying to do, which is counter press and make them turn the ball over in their half of the field. If you are not committing to the team to do that work, you basically nullify the entire freaking plan, because the player is always going to be open wherever you're at. And it makes the counter press completely useless. And in this game, I not only saw him committing to the counter press, but actually giving a defensive energy to the counter press that really changed the look around him as a whole. The players around him were trusting him to get in the positions and shutting down those spaces and creating openings, and we were shutting down lanes faster, which is why we kept getting the ball in very dangerous places. It took a little bit for it to kind of get going, but 64, when Arteaga gets his goal, and Mendez he gets him behind the defense and just, I'm trying to think, this is the one where he crosses it in, no? Yes, but almost like a laser shot to Arteaga. Sorry, I had a thing. It's a lot of goals in 2 weeks. It's more than we've had in months. Deal with it. Shut up. I'm old, throwing you random jokes. There you go. Look, Mendez strikes it almost looks like he shot the damn ball at Arteaga. And all he had to do was basically just stick his foot out to change the direction of the ball, which, fine, that's what he's there for. Something he had not done very well this season, but very confidently puts his foot in the right place and buries the back of the net. 64th minute. And it was like, with that goal, it's almost like something clicked. Like, all the little things we had been trying to do within that first half to try and make those things kind of come together finally clicked. Now, also, look, Mendez comes on the 46th minute for Castellanos. We kind of shuffled our back line a little bit. We saw White step in a little more defensively, but because none of the rest of our subs were until either the 84th or the 90 plus. So anyway, so you got the goal from Arteaga, and it was just like, it felt like more was coming, right? Like, am I alone there? Like, I mean, I'm watching this game and I'm like, boy, the team is feeling pretty good. And that's like 2 weeks in a row that we found ourselves very similar style goals, right? And then not even 3 minutes, well, like 3.5 minutes later, Bodley gets in a very similar situation. Ball comes off a counter press. I forget who it was. It might have been Mendez. Shit, could have been Crisostomo. Actually, it might have been Crisostomo. Actually, could have been Rito. I don't know who it was. But whatever it was, goes up, challenges the ball, comes off him, gets into Bodley. Bodley gets him behind and does a beautiful curler that gets in just behind the defense. And Marie puts his or Mendez puts his head Marie puts his head down and buries the ball in the back of the net, which really Van Oekel had no chance to even react on. I mean, it's one of those. I mean, like, he's throwing the ball across him, bang, boom, right over his head. Like, I mean, it's hard to react to that. Wow, that was a little aggressive. Man, I feel like I hurt my neck. Sorry, whatever. I'm getting old. Shut up. Again, throw your joke out. I don't care. Anyways, so, but it was such a bang, bang kind of play. And it was beautiful. It was a beautiful goal. I mean, absolutely beautiful. So really, you get those two goals, and it just kind of felt like we were on top of this team. If I remember correctly, yeah, possession ended up being 55-45. I feel like it was probably a little bit higher if we were watching the live set at that point. Our counter press was really causing a problem for them. And it didn't feel like defensively we were giving much, but we almost didn't need to with the way that we were counter pressing the team. We were shutting down lanes. We were finding spaces. Our possession was far more purposeful where it needed to be. And I felt like we were really making a lot of use out of it. Just a little unlucky on maybe a final touch here and there to put the ball in the back of the net. But it just like it felt like we were just going to keep loading up and going. But again, you know, I mean, that's, I think, a testament to 2 games in a row now where we have seen a clear offensive strategy from Cassiano and the players starting to pick up on it and move. Now, look, remember, this game was hot as hell. I mean, so we got to make a few more subs. We are a little bit of an older team, so those things are going to happen. Bodley comes on for Bodley comes off, Alvarez comes on the 84th, Passius comes off, Skinner comes on the 84th. I think that was just more to kind of shore up the wing play and also make sure that we had enough pace on the field to get in behind if we needed to, but at the same time have the speed to recover. Passius and Bodley had ran their asses off this game. Truthfully, I mean, just they ran their asses off and deserved the break. And I mean, look, it works out to our benefit. Manu kind of gets a hard ball driven into him at I guess it'd be between the 8 and the 6, or the 18 and the 6. It kind of makes it rough for him, but managed to hold on possession, cuts the ball back to Marie. It's kind of bouncing, and then Marie kind of shoots the ball down into the ground, and it just bounces over Van Oekel into the net, which was it definitely looked like that was purposeful, right? Like that was done. I mean, that was just really good play, smart heads up style play, just a really well played shot by Marie. And then what do you know? Like we're up 3-1, and it's just like 2-1's the dangerous scoreline, right? Like that's the one you always worry about. But 3-1, you feel pretty good, especially when it happens in basically the 90th minute. Like that was like, we felt like that game was done. I mean, Birmingham was toast. We had taken them down. They're down below us in the points. They know that. Like, that just felt like the nail in the coffin. And at that point, we make 2 more subs. Clearly, I think these were more stopgap and safety valve kind of substitutions. You got Sharp that comes on for Marie. I think it's smart. Guy played his ass off 2 games in a row. Get him off the field. Let him start recovering now. We got a big one coming Saturday against NC. Put that man on ice. And then Lasso comes on for Arteaga. Obviously more in a defensive role. That's just to make sure to kind of give you that extra man in the backfield. So you've got Guillen, like Lasso, Venkezil, just playing that forward and back really parked the bus for the final, what what we had eventually come to find was supposed to be 8 minutes, but it was actually like 10, but whatever. But we make those subs. We feel like we're just kind of right it in, but truthfully, um, while we were kind of parking the bus, I mean, we weren't leaving a lot of openings for the other team. And I forget who sends the ball out. I want to say it was Skinner that sends the ball out to Luis Alvarez, into the wide open space. Alvarez just, he brings it down, or he runs onto the ball, gets all the way up to the 18, and just he's got Sharp coming in on the opposite side. It looked like he was going to try and put a cross in. And then he just puts this beautiful touch on the ball, and just enough English to kind of go right over Van Oekel, which you could see Van Oekel start to go up for it and realized, I'm never going to get to that. And it just tucks in beautifully under the bar into that top corner. I mean, top bins, baby. I mean, that fourth goal was beautiful. I mean, that was beautiful. Like, that might be one of the nicer placement shots I think I've seen this season. And I mean, I've been saying for a while, I know that I was kind of more harping on Luis Alvarez having more of a hard strike. But I told you, this kid is good. Like, he's only gonna get better. I'm very excited by what I see from him. And I think, reminding ourselves, yes, that he's young, but he has got serious talent. Like, this kid's going to be a problem in this league. And I for one am excited to see kind of what continues to go with him. But that goal was beautiful. And of course, again, that was it. I mean, like, but man, so that caps off 7 goals in 2 games, a great away win out in Birmingham, which is on a hot midday. Like, we saw a lot from the boys that we haven't seen a lot of this season. And it feels like we're starting to see some consistency with the style of play that we're looking for. Now, I get it. It's a very brief 2 games, 5 days, very compact times, but we had seen bits and pieces of this, and we just saw it against 2 not great teams, but 2 challenging teams, and not to mention a challenging team on the road, which is, not easy to do. I don't care if you're in first or last place. Going on the road is tough in this league. It just is. And we really played really quality football, and I was really, really happy about that. I want to read off a couple quotes from Dominic Casiato. I'll elaborate on them a little bit, but I just kind of want to get his thoughts at the end of the game here. I thought there was a number of good questions, and I think it's good for you guys to kind of hear what he has to say, because we don't always, as fans, get to hear some of these things. So I want to share them with you guys. So I'm going into halftime down a goal. Dominic had to say, I thought we were a better team in the first half. We were getting into some good areas, some wide areas. We just maybe didn't have the ball, have the final ball, or the commitment into the runs in the box. It wasn't quite there for us. Obviously, they went down and hit us with the counterattack. I think the goal they scored early may have given them a bit of wind in their sails. I definitely think we were the better team in the first half, although we weren't dominant. We made 1 or 2 adjustments going into the second half, and that was enough for us to come away with a huge win. Kind of mirrors what I talked about. And again, I thought we did a lot of good things in the first half, but we were just missing a couple runs and some smart possession balls in that first half that just kind of hindered our own attack. Again, I don't think we were great, but I think we were good. But I think you could see what we were trying to do, right? And you could see that there was just a couple communication things wise, which is in part of the runs, part of the playing into space stuff that we did do leading on to the middle to end of that second half, which obviously changed the game on its head for us. He spoke on defender, midfielder. Obviously, they updated here. Paul Marie continued to make an impact with 2 goals versus Birmingham. He said, we knew Paul had a lot of quality in him. He's a great guy that works hard for the team. 100% confirm that. Who has great quality and experience. He's come in, definitely given us a lift and a boost, as has Alex Mendez, Charlie Sharp, which I'd agree to a point on Charlie Sharp. I'm not totally sold on the kid, but again, he's a kid, and so I don't want to be on the kid too much. And Juan Azocar, who I think has proven that he is starting quality, and I like what he offers us. And all the guys we've signed. Really pleased with all the new additions, as I think we all really should be. He spoke on midfielder Alex Mendez recording an assist in his second appearance, not to mention with basically no time to practice, but whatever. Listen, you don't get signed by Alex if you can't play. He's played so many games in the first division of Portugal, which Jonathan Silva can speak more to that than I can, but that's definitely a challenging league. I wouldn't say it's a top 5 league, but it's a challenging league for sure. With plenty of good soccer to be played out there. He's played in the top division of Mexico, which is a tough league to play in. Alex is a serious player. Alex is great quality. I think he's just catching his breath now, but he's going to go from strength to strength each game he has with us, which is a consistent thing that Castillo says about a lot of these guys that come in. But it's true. I think the quality is eventually showing with these guys that they are bringing in. Again, the only guy that I would say that we have to kind of hold our breath on would probably be Sharp. And I think that there's plenty of time for him to figure that out. I like these another guy that we can throw up top. Who knows, man? I mean, maybe he just needs to get a goal and then, sky's the limit. So anyways, on scoring 7 goals in the last 2 games, Castillo said, we've just got to keep doing what we're doing. I've been saying since game 1 that it's not going to happen overnight and that we just have to put on one foot in front of the other. If we do that, we're going to be just fine. Hopefully now you're seeing that I do know what I'm talking about and the progress is being made. Really pleased with the guys. Obviously this result doesn't mean anything unless we back it up again on Saturday. Agreed. But I think this is proof of good progress. So I'm just really happy for the guys and for their efforts. And look, I told you guys, I'm a fan of Dominic Castillo. I mean, Dan and I have talked about some of the dangers we've seen in his style of coaching, dangers in a good way, as far as some of the spaces and the opportunities we're creating, some of the goals we're scoring, making space in the middle and wide areas. We are becoming we are becoming less dependent on one-dimensional soccer, one way to get into a box, because we were very much that way before. We were very heavy on it. And obviously the addition of these players like Paul Marie, who he's forcing Manu and Passius to play better. I think for Passius, he's not carrying the game on his shoulders. Again, these are all my feelings. These aren't things that I'm being told. These aren't things that I'm picking up in between the words that are being said out there. This is what I'm saying. Passius is becoming more of a complete player because he has to. Because the goals aren't just going to come from him, and the team knows that. And they're going to start leaning to Paul and these other players to start creating goals. Now, also, if you'll notice, we had multiple players outside of Passius scoring goals in games. That is not something we've really done at all this year. And if we are going to become a 2 or 3 or possible 4 goal scorer threat team moving into the playoffs, that is very good for us because it makes you very difficult to defend. Anyways, I digress. Let's see here. Last thing he talked about is on the confidence players can take from these 2 performances. Confidence and momentum is huge for these players. We have good players on the front line, and we have guys coming off the bench to challenge those guys, which is something we have desperately needed. I think you saw that today. It's continuing to do the right things and be positive, creating more chances and being dangerous. I'm a big believer that you have to take care of today, then tomorrow will look after itself. It's been a bit rocky at times, but we've been heading in the right direction. Hopefully you will see more of that progress on Saturday. Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's all the things we've talked about. Again, I mean, look, at least we're sitting here on this podcast today. I say we, you and I, we're all here. All maybe 5 or 20 or 50 of us or more. I mean, we've sometimes get more per episode. But the point is like, I know it's hard to find positive when things are going right. And it's easy to find things to be excited about, like goals when things are going really well. I think if we look in between there and somewhere in all this, we have tried, Dan and myself, and me when I do this thing solo, is to show that, again, I keep talking about patterns of play and principles of play and utilizing spaces and being able to get behind the defense and not just being counterattack or crossing team or whatever. Like you have to find some consistencies in your play in order for these other things to kind of start coming together consistently, or else it's all just by chance. Some of it's luck, some of it's skill, but a lot of it's by chance. No team has long-term success in the league without a consistent plan or principles of play that they always fall back on. And when you have what happened to us this year, which is 3 different coaches, a slew of different players, a number of different injuries, players that just have not found their footing this year, There's a lot of inconsistencies, a lot of questions. And of course, as those things go wrong and you start losing, you start questioning each person's movements and judgments, and what they're going to do next in certain situations. And I think a lot of that was fractured coming into Steve Coleman. And Steve Coleman started to build back these fractures and build back a unit, right? And then and at the same time try to instill principles of play and a style of play that, one, that a fan base could follow, but two, that was conducive to the players that we had and where we were at. And what we're seeing now under Cassiano is, and it's, look, you were always going to see a bit of a drop off under the new coach because he wants to immediately start implementing his plan as fast as possible, but also understands you can't just make a full change, right? You have to work with what you have and slowly introduce those principles. But you also can't do it too slowly because you don't have a lot of time left and he's coming late in the season. And then also you need players that can play your style of soccer, people that believe in the sauce, and man, you put all those things in there, and you were starting to see it under Cassiano under like week 4, right? But I think now what you're seeing is you're seeing a consistent buy-in of those principles. Players that have basically, they don't have the weight of earlier in the year on them, or even last year's players have on them. They're coming into a situation where they just want to make a difference and be ready to go back to their parent club because that's what they're here to do. And that's okay. I mean, that's a low need for you. That's what their job is coming here to continue to improve, to continue to get better, and to continue to move on. And that's fine. That's why you bring these guys in. You hope they make a positive impact, and you send them on out and back to their parent club. But you're seeing players that are coming in that are Cassiano-style players playing a system that he likes. You're seeing our players be forced to step up their game and basically forget about all that other weight. Focus on what we're doing right now. And to start trusting each other and really buy into a system. That's why you're seeing Manu's starting to get more goals consistently. Passius is starting to get more goals. You're seeing other players start to get goals. You're seeing other guys get into the assist ranks. You're seeing us do a better job at the counter press. You're seeing us make deeper movements within the midfield that are allowing us to break lines with our passes. It sucks to lose Lewis Hilton for whatever time and Nick Moon, but I think you look at who's out there right now, and I mean, I'm not saying that not having them is a good thing, because I don't think that. I would much rather have both of them right now available to fit in where they're supposed to, whether it be starting or coming off the bench or whatever, because not having that depth hurts, right? But to see the guys that are stepping up in those roles, automatically understanding what they need to do and making a difference and an impact right away against two tough teams, maybe not great teams, but tough teams, right? Colorado Springs is no slouch. They're 8th over in the West Coast, and they are a good team. They're a well-coached team. They've got really talented players. We know that. And I get Birmingham has struggled this year, but let's not sit here and pretend like they don't have a lot of talent. And some very dangerous players on their squad. They absolutely do. I mean, they can be absolute monsters in their own right. And honestly, any given Saturday, or in this case, Wednesday afternoon in Birmingham, anybody can be a problem. And you saw this team be able to take the adjustments that are asked them, just a couple minor adjustments. I mean, they all talked about it both games, and really apply them and make a difference with them. And again, I mean, we are moving closer and closer to playoffs. We're creeping up the standings. And I'm telling you, if this is a sign of things to come from what we can expect from this team, look, guys, I'm telling you now, get your fucking asses out to the stadium and watch this fucking team. This is going to be fun. We may not make the playoffs. I don't think that's going to happen, but we might not make the playoffs. But let me tell you what. The team is going to make it exciting. So it's going to be really exciting. Get your ass out to the fucking stadium, support this damn team, and push them into the playoffs. Because I'm telling you right now, if we get into the playoffs and we're the 8th seed, we are the bottom seed. Like, we are the lowest seed team that's going to get in, which means we ain't get another home game. Unless some miracle happens and by chance we somehow manage to be home. I don't know how that's possible. Could it happen? Absolutely. But let me tell you what. That last home game might be our last home game. But this team right now, the way they're playing, is very exciting. And I get it. It's hard to kind of forget about what happened in the beginning to middle of the season. I get that, okay? I remember it, but I also remember the lean years too. And let me tell you what, this team is on its way in the right way, very much headed in a very positive direction. And we've got some tough games to go. And look, the metal's going to be tested. None of these are going to be a walk in the park. None of these. And if we want to get to the A seed, we're going to have to fight for every single point. But I very much believe this team has the potential and the talent to do it. How far they can make that run to the playoffs, I don't know. But I'd rather be there and cheer them on and do my part to get them to that A seed, potential 7th seed, and give it a chance, man. Why not? What do we got to lose? Nothing. Nobody believes that we're going to win anyways. So fuck them. Go all out, man. Go after these teams. I don't care if they respect you or not. Screw that. Let the scoreboard make them respect you at the end of the game. Keep fighting. I asked this like 3 months ago, 2 months ago. My call out to the team was like, show me. Well, you're showing me. I like what I see. Thank you for showing up and putting on a freaking show. I mean, these last 2 games, you couldn't look away. It was exciting. I very much liked it. I thought it was really cool. I mean, really cool. I'm trying to read my damn phone at the same time. I'm checking something real fast. Sorry, guys. Oh, God. All right. Well, never mind. I was going to see comments on the social media post, but nothing. Look, Jeff Shapiro, rabble, insults are no good. In fact, those are bad insults. You suck. More shots from distance. Yeah. Yeah, I don't disagree, man. I'm kind of with you. More shots from distance. Guys, you heard him. Jeff Shapiro wants more shots from distance. I know you watch this show. Maybe you don't. Maybe you do. I don't know. More shots from distance, please. Is that good, Jeff? Is that good, Jeff? Is that good, Jeff? 4 shots from distance. Guys, I'm going to get the hell out of here. I got a whole lot else. Our next game is going to be Tampa Reddies. We got NC coming up this weekend. It's going to be a challenging game. They're going to play counter-attack style soccer. They got a speedy guy up top who thinks he's just going to burn us again because that's what he did last game. And you know what? Fuck NC. Those little bastards, the only reason they beat us last time is because we gave them their goals. They didn't win that fucking game. We lost it. And I mean, look, I know it's easy to say that when you lose to a team that you think you're better than. But I honestly believe that we're better than that team. We gave them that game. They didn't do anything to earn any of their goals, and we worked our ass off. And let me tell you what, I hope with them coming into our house, I hope we freaking dog walk these bitches. I hope we run right over them. I want to see us take them to task and remind them, I don't care where you are and where we are in the standings, we're better, and we know it. Okay? So, ring it up. Let it go. Let the green and gold lights shine bright at the cathedral this weekend. Get your asses out to the freaking stadium. I don't care what you think you want to do Saturday. This is what you're going to do Saturday. You're going to come out and get to the game, watch this team play. All right? Get out there. Get your friends. Get your friends' friends. Meet somebody off the street. I don't know. Do it in a nice way, in a gentleman way. Be a gentleman. Okay, be a gentleman. But grab some people off the street and bring them to the damn game. You want tickets? I got tickets. I'll get you tickets. I don't care. Get out to the damn game. Let's have a freaking party, and let's celebrate this team all the way into the playoffs, because let me tell you what, that's exactly where the hell we're going. We're going straight to the playoffs, boys and girls. So you have fun. I love you all. Come on, you rowdies.
The rowdies run here, the rowdies run there, they kick the ball around. The rowdies run here, the rowdies run there, and then they fall on the ground. Oh, the rowdies, the rowdies, the rowdies are kicking the grass. When the rowdies play soccer, it's a sight to behold. You'll swear they'll be devils with magical toes. You'll laugh, you'll cheer, you'll leap from your seat when they kick with their head instead of their feet. The rowdies run here, the rowdies run there, they kick the ball around. The rowdies run here, the rowdies run there, and then they fall on the ground. Oh, the rowdies, the rowdies, the rowdies are kicking the grass. When the Tampa Bay Rowdies take the field, there's a roar. The